Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your weekly podcast here, The Jew and the Brown Man. As you can hear in the background, the Jew is listening to CNBC, and everybody currently is reporting of this mass shooting that is happening or that has happened in San Bernardino. The Jew wishes to speak on the issue, as he does feel it did add some steam to today's interesting sell-off, which we'll get into in detail during this this little podcast. So, Kenny, what's going on, man?
Me chilling. What's happening?
Nothing much. So let's talk a little bit about the markets today, obviously, because we always seem to have these shows on crazy, something crazy happens. But I suppose something crazy always happens in the freaking stock market. So here we are. SPY yesterday closes over 210, which is an area that everybody has been watching for. We blow through this area. We see all kinds of call activity. Everybody is plugged into the long side, including myself, by the way. I have a whole book of like long swings going into the morning.
Right.
And one of the big ones was Bank of America. And by the way, Bank of America, guys, pull up Bank of America. You'll see that it pre-market, it traded up to 1794, right? All a nice little ruse, a nice, lovely little fishing line. And boom, SPY dumps, and this thing dropped a good, 50 cents. So I got smoked here on some of my long swings. I was able to make back most of my losses here, just shorting ES and shorting a bunch of things. But it was a pretty rough ride today. What do you got? What do you got here as far as long swings that kind of got trapped into this scenario? What are you? What words of advice are you going to give them?
Well, I'll tell you something. When the QQQ got to all-time highs for
yes.
some of you guys, they hit, I think it was a 20-year high today. As a goof, I decided, you know what? I'm going to sell all of it. And next thing you know, we start moving down. And we weren't going anywhere. We were hovering at 115.
Yeah, it was slow in the beginning. In the beginning, it was very slow. SPY was very choppy to start the day. By the way, ES traded up to about 2104 last night. Couldn't really get over it. We just kind of chopped around today. Once we started selling, that's when things started really picking up. And then just slowly, things just kind of got dismantled.
Yeah, most of my trades today started out as a goof. I was goofing around. I was like, I'm going to sell some I'm going to sell the Qs here. Maybe we can get a pullback and I'll buy them right back. I was just looking, when they hit 115.75, the VWAP was 115.40. So I was like, you know what? Maybe the 2 o'clock fucking, as I call it. Yeah.
Right.
Basically, if you don't know, I've been doing this. I've been doing this my whole life. And if you watch the market, if you're sitting there glued to the screen, when the market's, today's not a typical day, but when the market's trending, let's say up for an example, for some reason, or probably there's a preordained reason, at 145, the market tries to make this counter trend move.
Right.
And then sometimes it gets accelerated at 2 o'clock and then gets even more at 2:15. But then around 2:20, we usually stop on a dime, start to go back up, and by the end of the day, we're back into the trend. This was exactly what happened yesterday. And by the end of the day, we're back into going to all-time highs. That's why we call it the 2 o'clock fucking, because if you don't play it for that half an hour counter trend move, you will be fucked by the end of the day. So that being said, the only time you want to take the 2 o'clock fucking, and on an example like today, if it's an up day and we start to sell off, the only time you want to take it serious is if the UVXY or the VIX is starting to move up at the same time. Now, here's the coincidence. We were long the UVXY because of a triple bottom at around 2490, I think it was. Hold on.
Yep.
So the UVXY starts to accelerate.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, 23. We were 23.90.
Yeah, right under 24 right there. Yep.
Right, and we were saying, all right, let's buy some here, 23.95. We'll risk 12 cents. And if it bounces, maybe we'll get to 24.40, which was the VWAP. We got to 24.40, and I was like, well, this might be more than the 2 o'clock fucking here, guys, if the UVXY is busting out. Next thing you know, we're adding to this position, which is usually the worst thing to do. And it starts going nuts. And, obviously I'm up 60, 70 cents on a UVXY trade. I'm out.
You're taking it. You're taking it. Of course, because most of the time, I mean, you're just going to get the fade. You're just going to get the fade right back.
Right.
And then we had a little bit of we could call it a little exacerbation, aka masturbation, because of the shooting that took place, which you do believe added some juice to the move, correct?
Absolutely. We were taking a breath. Maybe it was going to be a pause day. I don't think we would have accelerated to the downside if it wasn't for this this attack. The thing about the attack is that we don't know who did it yet. So everybody's a little bit up in arms. But why go to this little, it's a social services center. These people are waiting to die anyway. Why start shooting up the place? I don't know. They're all sitting around waiting for their social security checks. And these guys going in with, masks and body armor and starting, shooting everybody.
Yeah,
so,
why an assisted living center? Yeah, why a place like that? Interesting little side note. Would you put your parents in one of those places? I mean, is that do Jewish families not do that? Or do you take your parents with you? So wherever you go, is there a room for your parents somewhere in the house?
My parents have already said they will never, ever go into a home.
Never.
What we're going to do is we're going to hire some Russian off the boat to wipe their ass for a couple of $100 a week because they work really cheap.
Which is a highly in-demand service. It is a very high in-demand service. People get paid really well to wipe ass.
Oh, yeah.
For all people.
Either you get some, non-speaking Russian or some hostile West Indian overweight woman.
Boom.
What you gonna do? What you gonna wipe your ass, Mr. Glick? What's happening there? Oh, you done crapped yourself again. That's where my parents are headed. They're gonna move into my basement one day, or generally the Jews we migrate down to Florida where my grandmother is. My grandmother, 92 years old, just came back from Florida, and she wasn't feeling well. But as soon as I got there, she was her angry. What do you need that for? Is what my grandmother says. Got to be 40 or 50 times. So I know she must have been feeling better because she was complaining about society, complaining about my life, and ripping on my parents with the utter bile only a grandmother can dish out to her daughter, my mom.
Her kid.
My mom. What are you doing? What's that for? What are you eating that for? What's wrong with you? So I was like, I guess you're feeling better, Grandma. I'm glad I came down here. And
Indian families, brown families, the parents got to come with us. The parents have to come with us.
Right.
And the thing is, they got to go, like the woman has to go with the in-laws. The in-laws have to go with her. So she has to deal with that, So she marries into a family and she has to deal with her in-laws. She got no choice, and always there's so much beef between the wife and the in-laws. And it just gets a little ridiculous. But anyways, that's a little bit off topic. So we do believe the shooting here kind of exacerbated the move. Where do you think here? What can we say here for the traders going forward as far as, those who are long swings and those who are looking for a big short, those who are looking for that big short? Because a lot of people are going to say that a lot of people got trapped into the market today and yesterday. So there's enough fuel here for the downside for another couple of days. That's what they're all going to say. And we're very illiquid right now, and we can easily push on the ES, down considerably. So what would you say here, either side, as far as direction for December? Do you think the big short is a possibility?
Nope, no way. It's December. We don't go down. Again, that being said, on a day like this, it's really simple. I mean, For you and I mean, you carry positions. I don't really carry too much other than the Qs, so I don't really have to worry too much. Every other position I have on are stocks that have already gotten their asses kicked. So where are they going? You know, I've been buying. Well, I don't want to get into the whole list right now.
But you're a part of the dogs. Like you go after some of these dogs, and one of those I think we were talking about was one of the material names, correct? What was it? The Joy Global, right?
Joy Global from yesterday, yeah. But really, more significantly was this, the Solar City.
Okay.
And a stock Cree was a really dead cat bounce. And what I've been noticing is because obviously I have no respect for analysts. I know that they're out there being paid to make their calls. And the thing
Yeah,
is,
a lot of upgrades, by the way, have hit the tape for this week and last week. Like a slew of upgrades for oil names. I mean, you name it. Everything has gotten amply upgraded in the past couple of days.
those are the upgrades I don't mind. At least
Okay.
you're making an upgrade when the stock is still beat down.
Right.
It's the guys that downgrade GoPro.
Yeah.
$19.50.
At $19. Yeah, they changed their price target down at 19 motherfucking dollars. I get it.
Or you're downgrading Cree. These stocks are down 80 to 90% off highs, and now you want to come out and downgrade it? That's because he was paid by somebody who's still short that wanted to cover a large position and not influence the market. That's what I believe analysts are paid to do. Just like when they downgrade a stock that's flying high just so they can get their buddy out of the stock who got trapped short.
Right. And you can even say that for soon. You remember there's some people calling out $25 price target in fucking SunEdison, bro. $25 price target. This damn thing is trading $3.50 or $4, whatever the hell it is. I mean, that shit is just ridiculous. That shit is just blatant ridiculousness. But we see it all day. So it's nothing to us. But to go back to our previous point here, Kenny, what can we offer our traders here as far as guidance on direction for the next couple of days here? Obviously, you think the big short is not a possibility. Do you think we start floating back to those all-time highs eventually, and we recover this little sell-off?
I think this market is on cruise control. It's got to hit all-time highs across the board. I mean, for a lot of you guys out there, you've never seen the Qs at 120. I come from 20 years ago, where they were higher. But this is an all-time high for most of you guys. So we hit all-time highs today. So a little give back, why not? And also, we haven't had a real sell-off since the bullshit sell-off of Paris.
August. Yeah, that's true.
August sell-off, yeah. But since the
Paris, the other terrorist attack.
Yeah, the Friday night Paris attack sell-off, which amounted to the greatest buying opportunity ever to today.
You know what? And that's another thing to throw out there. So I think we've had 2 terrorist attacks where we've sold on the ES pretty considerably, and we've retraced the whole thing. So there is a very high likelihood that we're going to do the same thing with this particular sell-off here. Again, it's a little bit too early to tell. I personally think, again, I'm on the same boat here as Kenny, that we kind of just float our way right back up. I think it might take another couple of days here. It might take another couple of days to fish out a lot of those over-eager longs. And then we eventually sort of start climbing back. There's still a lot. There's so much call activity that has hit the tape in the past couple of days for a lot of names out here. So let's start getting into these names here. First thing we want to do is talk oil, man. Oil went to fresh lows today. Big deal here on oil. There's a lot of people talking about a possible short squeeze coming. What do you have to say here to those folks out there trading oil?
I say fuck the terrorists. The only way we can hurt Saudi Arabia, who the real enemy is by keeping oil prices down. I know in theory it's hurting U.S. companies also, and it's hurting Russia, that there's cheap oil, but there's a study out there, it was floated, I don't know, about 6 months ago. If the price of oil is under $45 for the next 3 or 4 years, Saudi Arabia is going to start feeling some real pain. And that's our way of getting back at them. So I think oil might stay down here for a considerably long time, because that's our way of getting back at Saudi Arabia. Now, American companies are going to be hurt by the cheap oil also. So I don't know how consistent that thesis is, but the bottom line is, just like a stock, just like in any trying to by finding a bottom, if everybody's calling for a bottom, it's still not here. The bottom has to be formed. You got to rally, you got to test new lows, and then you got to hold, like UVXY today, for an example. It's the biggest piece of shit stock there is. It's built to go down, but we saw a quadruple bottom there, 23.90, where it was worth a shot, giving it a shot, because you saw the bottom formed, and now you see, okay, if it breaks here, I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to sell. If it holds, we're probably going to rally. Wait for that to happen in oil if you're really bent on getting involved. I'm no expert, but I love cheap oil. Let it go to zero. I mean, we're filling up our cars. I'm getting $1.89 on my corner. I'd love to see $1.50 for gas. Why not? I would not buy oil. And on another note, gotta love that gold, huh, fellas? Stupid gold, silver bastard, doomdayer, mother effers. You're so stupid. Haven't you noticed the gold trade's not working anymore?
That's a long-term investment. Oh, it's going to pay off when all you guys are suffering when the end of the world comes.
You're so stupid. If the end of the world comes, no one's going to give a shit about your gold either. Can't eat it, you morons. Gold to 880, oil to 30. What's up?
Oil to $30 from Kenny Glick right there. Price target from Kenny Glick for oil. Don't quote his ass on that shit and then troll him on Twitter for being wrong though, because you will get hazed like a motherfucker. So moving on, let's talk solars. There was a big energy conference this weekend. Everybody's talking about these low emissions and all this kind of stuff, and there's been a lot of call buying on Solar City. We even saw call buying today on First Solar. Solar City has a monster gap down from like $38, and it started going through it in a big way today, already almost up to about $35. What do you think about Solar City? Still a dip buy here. What do you got going on in the solars?
Well, I would have suggested everybody loaded up on it on Friday because I sold it. So that was on my list. You know, a lot of the stocks, if you take a look at the charts, talking about CREE, C-R-E-E, Solar City, your Joy Global, your Akamai's, they're all the same type of stock. They've gotten their asses kicked, and you just wait for that turn.
Yep.
And then nobody wants to be short anything in this market. Maybe copper, coal.
Yeah. Some of the material names like United States Steel and shit like that, you know, steel, copper, all those kind of names, like agriculture names, you know, we're seeing those things, you know, really pull back aggressively and not sustain any bid whatsoever. But to your point, nobody wants to be short. He's right, because if you take a look at Win, finally, you know, you're sitting in a 10-point squeeze on Win, and there's no fucking news on this thing. You look at MGM, you look at LVS, you know, the same thing here on these casinos, rampant here just because of the short squeeze.
It gets better on the Win. The news on Win was that they just reported the lowest revenue in 5 years, and the stock goes nuts today. So that just shows you that the shorts are done with this, and it's time to cover. So that's why you get these monster moves like Solar City, and I'm embarrassed to say I sold it. But I was in the stock pretty much at the lows of its life, you know. And again, I'm not a fan of solar. It's been, I don't know, 35 years since I went to Epcot Center, and all I heard there was solar was going to change the world. When I need a guy to come up to me and accost my family with a balloon at the mall to try to get me, here's a balloon for your 12-year-old kid. I'm like, dude, my kid got into balloons.
Yo, me and Kenny have been on this every single episode. I mean, I still got Solar City fucking college kids coming to my door every day trying to convince me of converting to solar and cutting down my fucking energy bill like this shit is the second coming. You know what I mean?
You'll be able to you'll sell your excess energy back to the grid. No, you won't.
You know what? I heard a rumor actually the other day that some of those kids, they're making some. And again, this is a pure rumor. I heard at the barbershop. There was some Solar City sales douchebag sitting there getting a haircut. He was the only white guy in this brown barbershop, by the way. I think he thought he was like the cool white guy. You know, he said people were making $150 grand or $200,000 selling solar. And I talked to this college kid that came to my door the other day. I was like, yo, how much do you get if you sell me on, you know, this package or whatever? He's like, I get $150. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? You don't get a percentage? You don't get anything? He's like, nah. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing this for, man?
Do you know that there's another company, I forgot what it is, that's tied to Solar City. It's a pyramid scam.
Yeah.
Yes. They get you to convert, and then you sign up to this other service where you try to find other people to convert, and then they go find other people, and it's a pyramid.
Right. Again, just like
Herbalife.
What is the biggest? What are the biggest ones out there? Telex Free, Herbalife. Telex Free, remember, was in the news for being one of the biggest pyramid schemes out there. They broke the company for like 300-400 mil, and the two CEOs or whatever are on the lam. One of them, I guess, is out in Brazil or wherever. Dude, you know what's happening with pyramid schemes? Now Forex guys have created the pyramid schemes, and you see it on Instagram. So what they do is they allow you to be a business owner. You have your own website where you sell Forex subscription services, and you get a cut. It's just layered just like the pyramid, That's the new shit. That's the new shit.
That's how the Solar City does too. You get your own website, and you see all your people underneath you, and you get them to peddle your shit for you, and so forth and so on, and that's how they sell it. So again, another red flag for the whole solar industry. If you got to go start pyramid scams to sell this shit.
Indeed.
Plus, I know people with solar, their return on investment is 16 years. So
it's 16 years. Yeah.
If you're going to own your house, if you buy a house and you want to get solar immediately and you're thinking you're going to live there for 20, 25 years, go ahead. Put some solar panels on your roof.
Right.
Don't forget about the maintenance fees that they don't talk to you about. But again, that leads me to the point I want to make about trading in general. When the trade doesn't make sense, but it's working, stick with it.
Stick with it.
Because I didn't think Solar City was going to be some miraculous turnaround. I hate the stock.
I mean, Elon Musk got in. I don't know what price Elon got in, but I know he's been buying shares down here as well. And they've been using him to tout this whole name the whole way fucking down. The whole way down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But when something is moving and it doesn't make any sense to you, but the trade's working, that's all that matters. Right. Those are the best trades where you're like, it's still working. It doesn't make any sense, but God bless it. Yay. I probably, I feel bad that I sold it. I missed, I only had 300 shares on. It would have been an extra $1,500 for me, which would have been awesome.
Indeed.
But, I was just looking to play that first little squeeze. I didn't think it was going to amount to some monster move like it did. And SUNE also, another one where I've been bashing that stock forever, because the way it was trading, looked like an Ameren. It looked like what's that other stock that everybody's Mankind. What the hell's with that stock?
Oh, Mankind.
MNKD. It seems like the more people that post on stock twits, it's these people trapped in these shitty stocks.
Yeah, the new Yahoo message board. The new Yahoo message board. The new sort of pump and dump, this sort of shitty name that you just can't get out of. All right. So moving on. By the way, SunEdison here is trading about 3.5. Still can't really get over that $4 area. Solar City actually does look like a decent buy continuation. And then remember, there was a lot of call activity on that first solar. So keep an eye on first solar going forward. Let's talk this VRX. You got a decent bounce here on this one. Dude, Martin Shkreli, I don't even know how to say his last name, but dude, he has been on Twitter fucking cracking people up, man. He's just talking shit. He's out there talking shit, and it is hilarious, man.
Oh, yeah?
It is hilarious, man. You got to follow this guy, man.
Yeah. That's the guy that charges $1 million a pill for some drug, right?
Right. That was the news. Yeah, right. That was the news that came out about him. He was on an interview the other day, and they asked him, like, what do you think if 2 Chainz was the CEO of a company, would you buy it? And he was like, I'd buy the shit out of it, or something like that. He just said something ridiculous.
Right.
So, dude, he's been out there aggressively talking his book, talking about how to trade, even how to become an investor, and all this kind of stuff. So he's out there real hard. Did you play the VRX at all? VRX, guys, is back to about $100. What's going on with this thing in your eyes?
Once again, I'm more of a day trader, I guess you would call me still. The VRX, again, as much as I liked it, when it bottomed there at 70, I got involved. Where was it? About when it broke over this little range around 76.85 is where I bought it that day. And it went up, 4 or 5 points. And at that point, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm in at a good price. Do I want to hang on to this? Maybe it retraces back to 100, because usually, the way this stock traded, saying going from 75 to 100 is could be one day. But, I'm the guy that if I find a bottom and I catch a bottom, I'm usually in it for that day, maybe one more day. And it hit 100 today and really couldn't sustain it. But if this thing could break out from here, again, the thing about this stock, guys, you can't hold it overnight.
And it's a liquid as shit. If you do end up holding, you guys need to realize, you need to give it some fucking room, man. Give that shit. If you're going to hold it overnight, you got to know that it could go 10 points against you. You know what I mean? It's a liquid as shit.
Or worse.
Or worse.
If it really does come out that there's a scam involved and it is the Enron of the pharmaceutical companies,
right?
Who knows? It could open up at $3 one day. That's why I'd rather just play it. And again, the reason I bought it that day, VWAP break into the reversal, and it was a great trade, and it was nice. And obviously it went up whatever 15, 20 more points after I got out.
Right.
But I'm not willing to take the risk. Even on 200 shares, I'm not willing to take the risk of holding it and having it open up down 30 points. What was the point? You know, again, that's the way I've been trading a lot of these stocks. And, you know, the ones I'm losing money on, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm a fucking genius here and everything I'm touching is turning to gold. You know, I bought the potash of Saskatchewan.
Potash, yeah, guys. Agriculture stocks have had some interesting activity on them recently. Potash, Mosaic, Monsanto, and CF. But again, like they still can't sustain any fucking bid for real.
It looked like it was finally going to break out. I thought I'd make my 3 points on it, and I've given it all back, and I'm still in it. Akamai also. That stock has. I've never seen
this thing is such a turd, man. This thing I thought was gonna get to $100, and I thought it was like breaking to new heights and everything. And after that earnings report, like now it's right back down to those ranges, $50 to $40 or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's 50, 56. This is, you know, I'm in like 57, 50. You know, I just love the stock. Me and my dad, we crushed it in this thing back when the market was crashing. We bought this thing at $3.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, 3. We bought more at 15, 18, rode it to about 30. And,
man, those good old days, man. That's like buying real estate back in the fucking 70s, man, where you could buy a property for 10 G's, man. Your down payment was a fucking grand. You know what I mean? Like we are not gonna get that for a long fucking time. But you know what we are gonna get? The greatest place to short ever if it happens, man. And who knows how long it'll take for us to get there. But God, I need it. All right, so moving on here. Let's talk. We got ECB tomorrow. I don't even know what that decision is, guys. Hit me up on Twitter here if you know what the ECB decision is all about tomorrow. And then you got the jobs report. So I'm in these financials long. Obviously today took it on the chin here with the Bank of America, but again, I mean, they're still kind of range bound. Citigroup to me looks like the weakest. Goldman, you know, didn't look good. Didn't look that great today. Bank of America to me is the strongest. And then you have some of the regional banks that I'm long as well. Last time we had this same jobs report where they posted, you know, the better than expected unemployment report. Bank of America ripped 40 cents or 50 cents in the pre-market. So everybody's piling up. Everybody's piling up for that particular move, I myself included. It is kind of a risky deal, but as long as the jobs report is decent, you know, it seems like that Fed rate hike is going to hit the tape. Kenny, what do you think about the fact that if we do raise rates or do start to, that could, you know, put us on a sort of downtrend in the markets? Can we still go to all-time highs? And everybody's bitching about this again and continuously. Can we still go to all-time highs if we raise rates?
Okay.
And guys, this is from trader perspective. You ain't talking to fucking PhDs in economics. And even if you were, it's not like they would give you a better answer than we fucking could.
Right. Like analysts with MBAs know shit. Yeah, they don't know anything. I just know, again, I always go back to I can make predictions, but I don't really put any money on the predictions. You know, obviously I'm still, you know, I sold the Qs today. I didn't sell all of them. I still got some Qs. I mean, I think they're going to 143 next year, which isn't really that far-fetched of a it's not even a stretch anymore.
That's not that bad. That's not that far.
30 points from here. I don't think that's even too crazy to do. And I thought we still had a chance to get the Dow 20,000 by the end of this year.
Right.
But might have got a little hiccup today. But look, when they raise interest rates, what's it going to be? 25 basis points? All it's going to be is thank you. Now we have less uncertainty of the market. We rally. We rally. Okay. Unless when interest rates now, again, when I was trading during the Clinton era. You know, I was trading. The market was going up every day. Yeah. And we were getting 5.5% on our money market sweep account. So when the money we weren't using for trading, we were getting 5.5% on, and everything was fine. So don't tell me that interest rates can't go up and the market's gonna tank. Please, come on, man. If it could go to 2-3%, the market would still probably be fine. And the ironic trade at this point, like I said, we've been talking about this interest rate now since the taper tantrum and then into when the interest rates are going to come. You don't think that's baked in at this point if they raise interest rates? If they raise interest, I don't even know if they're going to do it because I don't think they want to shake things up in 2015. They might just do it in 2016 just to let this year go by. But I don't think it's going to make any difference at all. And if the market decides it wants to sell off that day on a knee-jerk reaction, I'm a buyer. And again, I'm saying that now it's all going to come down to where my multi VWAPs are and my charts are telling
right, your trading strategy and whatever the hell it is, right?
Look,
That's what it's all going to come down to.
I'll give you one point that I've been sticking with. The Qs can, we're in limbo here on the QQQ.
We are in limbo. We are in limbo, and I think we are in limbo on the IWM, and I think we're in limbo on the SPY too. So we are limbo across the major indexes.
Yeah, but what the Paris attacks did was, I thought if the market was going to sell off, it was going to sell off to the Google Amazon breakout. That's when this market really started going ballistic.
Okay.
108.80, 109.50 area on the Qs. Right. And what the Paris attacks did, look where we went back to. Yep. Exactly that spot. That's where we held, and that's where we rallied from. So at this point, if you're buying the Qs, your downside is that 108, let's call it 109 to be an average. Right. So you're talking 6 points on the downside for what I think could be a 15, 20, maybe a 30-point upside over the next 18 months. Right. So to me, it's worth the risk. If you don't want to buy it now, do what I'm doing. I am selling puts under 108. If we pull back, great, because that's where I want to buy them. If we don't pull back, great, I get to keep some money. If we keep going higher, great, I get to keep the money. Obviously, when you sell puts, you can only make what you sell them for. But today I sold some puts. As soon as I sold those Qs, I was like, I don't want to be totally out of the Qs. So I went and sold March 104 puts. I think
March
they were
104. So that's way out there. What premium did you get on those?
I think I got about 220.
Yeah, so you're getting $2. You're getting 2.25, guys. Anybody who has a little bit of capital and who has some leverage here at your brokerages, if you don't want to go aggressively try to time options, which gets extremely complicated. Anybody who tries to trade options realize, like, one of the biggest downfalls is the timing of the trade, right? But if you go ahead and you write options, obviously with some good risk management, possibly some spread trades in there as well, it's kind of it's a much easier way to sit in a trade, Now, again, as long as you're not selling naked calls on fucking UVXY and not covering your ass if it goes from $20 to fucking $80, that's obviously one of the really downsides of writing options. But this is a much more patient, a much more manageable strategy than, let's say, buying, a front month fucking call and trying to time when you're going to get a breakout on the Qs. So thanks, Kenny, for throwing that out there. Yeah,
I've been selling because I think the market's rallying probably till March. So I look at the 104s as free money. I sold some the other day. It wasn't actually today. Where is it? Like $2.12. I sold some at 204, $2. They're at 171, 175. So the idea is, if the market the market now could sell off 10%, which brings you down to 104. And in theory, obviously, if it happened tomorrow, these would be worth $9, and I'll be shitting in my pants.
Right, exactly. If all this happens in one day and you get this panic shit, and that's the risk that you take, obviously. I mean, usually those are just 1 out of 20 type events, like the August sort of crash that we had, the little flash crash that we had.
Right. But if you're saying, hey, look, I'll buy 2,000 QQQ at 104. Right. And you better be ready to buy 2,000 shares at 104, because that's what you're committed to. But if they don't go anywhere, I get to keep the $4,000, and at least I'm sort of still long the Qs, but in a less aggressive way than being long here at 115. So I'm thinking about still adding to that, and putting away 100. But I don't want to get too big, because you really don't want to sell puts when the market's going up. You want to get more premium and do them when the market's going down. So I don't think I got anything done today. Maybe I think I sold a 113 for tomorrow, actually, when the market was tanking, because I figured we'll probably get to maybe 113. Yeah. I sold a 113 for 30 cents today.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, sure. And then again, like, you guys can get really advanced with this strategy, sell weeklies and things like that to add some income to your longer term position. There's so many different what is the word, permutations of a strategy that you can do when you write options, or if you're hedging, stock positions or whatever, so you can get really in depth with that. All right, man. So let's have a little bit of fun here before we close it up. Baba here, our beloved Alibaba here, as well as the Baidu here, rallying considerably today. You take a look at the Baba today, up, in a market that has seen some panic. What do you think about Baba going into the winter months? And by the way, there was a buyout rumor on Macy's that hit the tape today. I don't think it's for real at all. I don't know who the fuck would buy Macy's. But what are you thinking here as far as retailers and shit like that for the holiday season, man?
You just reminded me. I got 100 shares of Macy's too. I'm down on that too.
Okay.
That's another one.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another retailer that just fucking sucks.
But after they get their asses kicked, where is it going to go?
Where's it going to go?
I think we're talking about, what was it, 3-year lows, right? Or
yeah.
something like that, maybe. Yeah.
And then Abercrombie, after changing its image to no naked or topless men or something that they had in their stores or whatever, and they're making more I guess dumbed down or less colorful clothes. I don't know what they're going for, but the Abercrombie here looks a lot better. What are you doing here as far as retail into the Christmas vacation? You trading anything like that, like an Amazon or whatever?
Well, I was just going to say, there really is no other retail than Amazon.
Amazon, yeah. I look at it that way. They
control the world. There's always been that talk about how they don't make enough money on the margins of their products. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The only place to go, brick and mortar, are just dying and keep on dying. The only reason I'm in the Macy's because I saw it was at a 3-year low, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot here with a 2-point risk. Maybe I'll get a bounce to $45 in the next couple of months.
Right.
If not, I'm risking about $1 to make $5. That's the kind of trade I like. Right. But to bring it all home, we talk a lot about what we think is going to happen, what could happen, how we're going to plan for it. Today was an exact example about there was no way in hell I thought I would be trading UVXY long today, as this thing is disintegrating down to nothingness.
It's a great point.
No way. And here I am, loaded the boat on it 3 different times today. And, it just goes to show we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You could just react to it. I didn't think I'd be getting out of the queues. I certainly didn't think I'd be shorting the queues today. I certainly didn't think I'd be buying FitBit, the stupidest stock in the world.
Shit, you bought that thing, man? Yo, you know what? I was at the store the other day. I was actually contemplating buying this shit because I've been running lately, man, and I'm like trying to get this exercise cardio fucking thing going. And then my girl was like, let's get the Fitbit so we can see how much calories we're burning while we're having sex. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll pay $50 for the cheap ass one. And then I looked at it. I'm at the store. I'm like, I can't buy this shit. This is the biggest waste of money that I've ever seen ever.
That's so funny. You get a Fitbit for your cock. It's a Fitbit cock ring.
All right, guys. So to close it up here, we have a question here that we had on Twitter that I wanted to throw out at you. Why isn't Jewish food more popular in America, bro? Like you think of all the ethnic cuisines, okay? You think of all the ethnic cuisines, they have been dumbed down and Americanized and sold in the Chipotle format. I mean, come on. My food is being dumbed down completely. You got white people all over the world talking about their favorite food is chicken tikka masala. And why isn't Jewish food that popular? Why hasn't it happened to Jewish food, bro?
It's awful.
What's happening? Is it that bad?
I don't eat brisket. Everybody swears by that. Hate it. Mutton, gross. Kasha varnishkes, you got the little things with the pasta, awful. The only thing that's good is matzo ball soup. You want to market a matzo ball soup store? Go right ahead. I don't know how much money you're going to make. The food's terrible.
Is it that bad? Why is it that bad? Is there no flavors? There's no seasoning?
I grew up on it. I don't like it. It's the last thing I want to eat. Give me a slice of pizza over a brisket any day. That's probably it. And it's an acquired taste. You're not gonna go, wow, I love myself some kosher, knishes. I mean, knishes are fine. I mean, how can you ruin a knish?
So the only meal to me is the lox and bagels, right? I mean, that's the only one that has made it to mainstream, right? I mean, that's it. What else you got?
I don't know if that's officially a Jewish thing.
That's not a Jewish thing either.
We just like it. I mean, how could you go wrong with cream cheese and
anything?
Yeah. It's also like, wait a minute, what? There's a sushi roll that they use cream cheese and salmon. The Boston roll,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. There you go.
Right? So I mean, it's a great taste. But other than that, the meat. It's dry. It's too
dry.
salty. I don't like any of it.
So that you're telling me there's no future in us popping up a Jewish Chipotle style chain where we just cart motherfuckers in there for a bit of a knish and a fucking bowl of matzo ball soup.
You know what I think? If you had the appetizers might be good. Give me some kosher dill pickles.
Yeah, this guy on Twitter said he loves kosher dills. Kosher dills are the sour ones, right? They're the sour ones.
Yeah, those are great. Those are awesome. Yeah, a knish, a matzo ball, and I don't know. Maybe we can invent something. We'll cut up a knish and a matzo ball and throw a kosher dill pickle on there and put it in a roll and just eat the whole thing. I don't know. Actually, one of the best things about kosher food is the mustard. Something about the kosher mustard.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
So, I mean, I do like me some, hot dogs with the kosher mustard and the sauerkraut. You can't beat it. But that's really not a Jew thing either. But the kosher mustard, if you haven't tried it,
yeah,
it puts Gouldens to shame. There's this. I forgot the name of the brand, but it's just got this nice.
Do they only sell it at Whole Foods, or do they? Can you get this shit everywhere?
You can't find the kosher. There's a specific. You have to get it at the deli. I think it's called Ba Temple or something like that. That's one of them. And there's this. If you go to a real kosher deli, they've got that mustard. You ask, I could drink it. It's so good.
Yo, what's a Jewish drink? What's like a Jewish alcohol? Is there like a Jewish like a wine or something that
the worst wine in the history of mankind.
That shit ain't even good. So why is this shit so bland? Where are the New Age Jews that are gonna reform the Jewish food into this new thing that we can fucking sell it? How come that hasn't happened yet? You're telling me it's that bad? It can't be that bad.
That's why you don't see kosher delis on every corner and mass marketing kosher deli stuff. There's the select kosher delis. You got the Cats. You got your Mortons over, and you got your I forgot who. There's one in my neighborhood over here. Yeah. And plus, it's so damn expensive. I paid $16 for a corned beef sandwich. I'm like, huh? What? I mean, the sandwich was this big. It was the size of my fucking head. I could share with my whole family. But $16 for a corned beef sandwich? I was like, let me get 90 mustards with that also and 50 pickles.
And a couple to-go bags.
You got your delis. That's all you need.
All right.
I don't cook any of that stuff. I'm a sauce kind of guy. I make a great sauce. I make it a sauce.
I make it a sauce. I make it a sauce. All right, guys. That's it for this episode of The Jew and the Brown Man. Kenny is, of course, the Jew. Actually, I'm the Jew today, and Kenny is the brown man, as you can see. And you know what? He might even become brown because he is going to Jamaica for a little vacay. So he'll be smoking that good Jamaican. I don't even know if the weed in Jamaica is any good, but I'm sure you'll let us know when you get back, man.
I'm going to show them some stuff when I get there with that.
vape. Yeah. You got to show them that vape life. Yeah, show them that vape life.
That's crazy. What you doing here, man? I can't smoke. They need big spliffs. You know the thing about Jamaica is it grows in you drive down a road, there's a field right there. That's the whole thing.
Right. That's the new thing down there, by the way. There's a lot of regulations like kind of opening up for people to do the farming there in Jamaica and bring it to Canada or bring it to the US. So there's a lot of moves getting made down there, man. See if you can see if you can get us some contacts down there, brother.
Well, I am going with my family, but I am bringing my friend. He's a cop, so at least I'll have an armed guard with me if we want to go venture out into like Trenchtown.
There you go. All right, guys, take care and hit us up on Twitter if you have any comments, anything that you want us to talk about for the next week's episode. This is Lucci and Kenny Glick here signing off, man. I'll see you later, brother. We'll see you next week, man.
All right. Be good, brothers and sisters. And if you have any questions, kennyglick@AOL.com. And again, don't fucking mock me because I have an AOL account, all right?
Yeah, AOL anyways, all right? Take care, man.
See ya.